Hello guys and welcome back to my channel Basics The Strong Roots. My name is Richa and today we will discuss the difference between outstanding expenses and accrued expenses. So let's start with the term outstanding expenses. Outstanding expenses are the expenses which are incurred in a company but not yet paid, just like salaries, wages, electricity expenses and rent. What happens? A company has availed some services, like a company is using a land for which it is payable for rent. The company is acquiring and getting the services of its employees on daily basis and the salaries are getting due, but the company has not yet paid those salaries to their employees. So the services are already availed by the company, but the company has not yet paid for those services. That those expenses are called outstanding expenses. If you will talk in Hindi, then किसी भी कंपनी ने उन एक्सपेंसेस को, वो जो व्यय है उनको अवेल कर लिया है, उन सर्विसेज का फ़ायदा उठा लिया है, जैसे कि कंपनी के एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं, कंपनी के लिए काम करते हैं, या फिर फैक्ट्री में काम करने वाले जो लेबर्स होते हैं, कंपनीज ने उनकी सेवाएं ली हैं और कंपनी को या फिर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी एक्सपेंस पे करना है, या फिर कंपनी कोई लैंड यूज़ कर रही है जो कि रेंट पे है एंड कंपनी इज़ गोइंग टू पे द रेंट एवरी मंथ, but the company has not yet paid those expenses. Those are called outstanding expenses. So we can see here that how we will do the accounting for outstanding expenses. Let's take an example of salary account. Like the salary of a particular year is pending to pay to employees. Then how we will do the accounting, how we will pass the journal entry for that particular expense. So here salary account is a personal account. Why? Because it is due to a particular person. So outstanding expenses are personal accounts because these expenses are due to any kind of firm, association, individual or business. So only outstanding expenses are personal accounts, not nominal account. Because whenever we discuss nominal account, the only thing which comes in our mind is nominal accounts are for expenses, losses and income and gains, but the outstanding expenses accounts are personal accounts because they are due to a particular person or association or business or firm. So let's see how we will do the accounting and how we will pass the journal entry for that particular outstanding expense. Here we are taking the example of salary account. We can see that here I have debited, just take an example that the 5,000 rupees for a salary is pending to pay to an employee. Then how we will pass the journal entry? So what companies do, companies pass the accumulated entry for all the employees. If any outstanding expense or salary is there for all the employees, then company will pass the journal entry for all the employees in an accumulated amount. Then how we will see that? Salary account debit, because salary account is personal account here, and to outstanding salary account. So outstanding salary account is a personal account and a salary account is a nominal account, and outstanding salary especially is a personal account. So how we will pass the entry? Salary account is a nominal account. So nominal account के लिए ये expense है salary. This is an expense. Expenses and losses बढ़े तो debit, increase debit. So salary we will pay, there will be an increase, it will be get debited. Outstanding salary account is a personal account. So personal account में credit the giver and debit the receiver. So company is going to pay this. So company के लिए ये account credit होगा क्योंकि company तो pay करने जा रही है. Company is going to pay the outstanding amount. That's why company will credit the outstanding salary account. Now how we will nullify that account? Because if we have passed an entry for debit, then there will always be a credit, and if we have passed an entry for credit, then there will always be a debit. So what will happen? We have credited here outstanding salary account. Then how we will nullify this account? Whenever the salary will be actually paid by the company, then company will pass a journal entry, outstanding salary account debit to cash or bank account. Because it was credited here, the personal account was credited, credit the giver, and the company will now debit this outstanding salary account, and it will credit the cash or bank account how the salary is paid to that particular employee. So only the outstanding expenses accounts are the personal account. If in place of salary we will put rent here, then same entries will the company will follow. Rent account, outstanding rent account debit to outstanding rent account, and then the rent will actually be paid by the company. Then to nullify the outstanding account for that particular amount, the company will pass a journal entry, outstanding rent account debit to cash or bank account how the payment is made. So we have seen that the outstanding expenses are the expenses which are incurred in a company but not yet paid by the company. And the outstanding expenses will be added in the with the related expense in profit and loss or trading account, and it will be shown as liability in the liability side of the balance sheet. Now let's discuss the term accrued expenses. Accrued expenses are the expenses which are increasing over a period of time, getting due over a period of time, but not yet paid by a company. The company records these expenses into its books of accounts but has not yet paid these expenses to the concerned person or association or business. Why? Because the due date has not yet come for the payment of those particular expenses. Let's say salary. What are the accrued expenses? The examples are same as outstanding expenses, just like wages, salaries, rent, or employees unpaid leaves. Sometimes what happens in the organization that employees don't take leaves and they accumulate that particular amount of their leaves for which they will be paid by the company. So the company is not yet due to pay that payment, but the company has all the records of that particular payment, that that employee has these much leaves which he or she has not taken yet, and the company is payable to that particular amount, that particular employee for this much amount. So the company records these particular expenses in its books of accounts, but these expenses are not yet paid by the company. Yes, the accounting for accrued expenses will be same as it was for outstanding expenses. So as I already said that outstanding expense account is a personal account. Again, our accrued expense account is a personal account. So how we will pass the entry for accrued expenses? Let's take the example of salary again. Salary account debit, because it is an expense, this will be a nominal account. Accrued salary account is a personal account, so it will be credit here. Again, when the company will nullify this accrued salary account, then the company will pass this entry, accrued salary debit, to cash or bank account how the payment will be made. So this accrued expense is a short-term liability for a company, and this will be shown in the liability side of the balance sheet of a company. So here we can see the difference of accrued expenses and outstanding expenses clearly, that accrued expenses are the expenses which are already incurred by a company, but these expenses are not yet due to pay, and nor these expenses are paid. How these are not yet due? Because if a company is paying salary to an employee every third month, then for all the 3 months the salary is getting due, but the employee as well as the company knows that they will get the company will pay and the employee will get the salary after 3 months only. So the amount is getting accumulated. So at end of 3 months or at the end of the quarter, the employee will get the salary from the company. So that will be called accrued salary, because it is already incurred. The employee has already provided his or her services to the company, but the salary is still not due to pay, because the salary is getting paid by the company every third month of the year. And one more example we can take that for a rent, that a company is paying rent for 6 months. Like the company is has taken a land on lease, and the company is going to pay the rent every 6 months, half yearly. They have decided that we will pay the rent half yearly only. Then rent, for because the company is taking the benefits of that particular land every day, so what will happen, the company is payable for rent every day, but the rent is getting accumulated, and for every month the rent is due to pay, but that is still not due to pay for the company, because it is decided that the company will pay the rent at the end of every 6 months. The company will pay the rent half yearly. So the rent expense, that is an expense for company, that is already incurred but still not due to pay, because it is getting accumulated, and at the month of 6 months, when actual due period or due time for that particular payment will come, then the company will pay that particular expense. That is called accrued expense. Now what is outstanding expenses? Outstanding expenses are the expense which are incurred, but those are already due, but the company has not yet paid those expenses. Because if, as we have taken the examples of salaries, wages, so every month a company is due to pay the salary, wages, or rent or electricity expenses, you can say, and as per the decision of the company or as per the rules and regulations of the company, every month the company has to pay the salary to its employees. That is called past due, because the employee is coming to the office every day and his salary is getting due every day. That is called past due. It's getting due every day, and they want their salary at the end of the month. But somehow the company couldn't pay the salary to its employees, so that will call the outstanding salary, because the expense has already been incurred by the company, and the expense is already past due, because the due date has already been passed and it was due, and the company has not yet paid that particular expense to that particular employee or association or firm for which the expenses related, and the expense has not yet been paid by the company. So the main what should I use the word, the main reason or the main difference between accrued expense and outstanding expense is that both are incurred. Accrued expenses already incurred, outstanding expenses incurred. Accrued expenses is still not, neither it's paid by the company nor it is still due to pay, but outstanding expenses are due but not paid by the company. Accrued expenses are not due, outstanding expenses are due but not paid by the company. So hope you guys understood the difference between outstanding and accrued expenses, and if you guys think that I haven't explained anything correctly and I passed the journal entries incorrectly and I did a mistake in between, so please do write in the comment section, and like, share and subscribe my channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon, because whenever you will press the bell icon you will get the notifications of my new videos. Stay safe, take care, bye bye.